Now they always say congratulations. Work so hard, forgot how to vacation.
So boys, we are back with the brand new episode of the Rockies franchise mode here in the show 17. Today, we're going to go do a little bit more simming, probably up to, I don't know, probably around like Washington, Atlanta, some game that you haven't played, like one team you haven't played in a very long time. And then, before we do any of that first though, we're going to go and do our trade deadline for 2019 and see what brand new acquisitions we can do and add to this team and make them great. Because right now we're 57-44. I believe we're sitting second in the wild card spot for the National League. So we got to do a little bit more catching up in order to distance ourselves away from the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, and the Padres are pretty much 31-69. They're pretty much done. So we'll go to the wild card and see our position. Yeah, we're second there. Cubs at the first spot. We have the second. And the Dodgers are only 1.5 games back of us for that second spot. So we got to watch it very, very closely if the Dodgers take us over. But we still have one other shot, though, and that is overtaking the Cubs and taking that first spot in the National League. And even if we do well in the rest of the season, we have the Giants to go take after, too, because we're only 7.5 games back. That's not too far back. You'd always make it over. Like, if, let's say the Giants, they lose one of their great starters, like Mad Bum, and they just go on a losing, like, tear right now there. Maybe we might be able to go and take them over and take over that first spot in the National League West and guarantee ourselves a playoff spot if we get enough games ahead of them. So, right now it's pretty much, we gotta go and keep winning if we want to stay alive for our playoff hopes. So, right now, you have to take a look at our lineup, see what we need to add at this point in the season, whether it's pitching, hitting ability. At this point, we're not that bad, though. We're actually sitting pretty comfortable there with our hitting, because our hitting's not that bad. I thought it was terrible, but, I mean, it's decent. Our leadoff hitter, DJ LeMahieu, batting .293, 13 home run, 35 RBI in the season. Then we have David Dahl in the second spot, 267. Arenado batting .253 with 50 RBI and 18 home runs. Then we have Charlie Blackmon there, 40 RBI, 16 home runs, batting .270. We have Kutch batting .286, very good for right now, because last season he wasn't the greatest. This season, stepping up a bit. And then we have Trevor Story batting .245, not where I really want him to be. And then we have Kiki Escalona, man, who's kind of been like a dark horse of the team. I mean, he's playing DH, he's alright. We could maybe be able to get a better guy at the position, like a more trustworthy player to go and play at DH, but at this point I think we might be fine unless we could find a great player on the block that we need to go and trade for that would help us out. So right now, it's pretty much add whoever we need to go and make this team better in the long run and for right now. So Ian Desmond, he's near the bottom there in 8th spot, batting .263. And then we have our catcher, Derek Norris, batting .201. This man is playing terrible this season. I thought he'd play better. He's 83 overall. His hitting ability isn't that bad. I mean, he's got a 70 against contact against lefties. He's got a 48 against righties. Not the greatest. His power, though, is alright. 59 against righties, 64 against lefties. And his fielding ability should be pretty much league average. So, I don't know why he's doing so bad, though. Like, the past few seasons, like last season he was terrible with Washington batting .222. But then, like, in 2017, he's batting over 300, 303. So, was he juicing it up that one season? I have no clue, because the previous season he batted 186. So, I have no clue why he played well that season, but it seems like he brought down to where he was before, batting 246, 201, and so on and so forth. So, I guess you might be able to go continue on with Derek Norris. If not, we have another guy, Tony Walters, to go and play in his place, because Tony Walters, great defense, underrated offense. It's alright if you put him in. And you're not really looking for much offense out of your ninth hitter in the lineup, because usually they're terrible. And Derek Norris, worst player on the team, he's in 9th, less at-bats. That's not good for us right there. Actually, wait, I should probably consider that. Nah, I guess pitching is terrible too. So, at this point, Derek Norris says, please step it up and play better. Whereas the rest of our lineup is not that bad, though. Like, our hitting ability is fine, regardless of Derek Norris. But then we'll go and take a look at a rotation at this point, because rotation, it played well in the beginning of the season, but now it's kind of beginning to go distance ourselves from what we were before, and that was a great starting pitching staff, because Anderson, he's pretty much a wild card at this point, because he's has a 194 ERA, that's insanely good, and he's been playing like that all season long. He's consistent. John Gray, he's fallen off the bandwagon of good pitching, because he's got a 353 right at this point, whereas earlier on in the season he had like a 201, 220 kind of ERA. So maybe you're just getting more of John Gray, getting to see what he has. in his arsenal. But then we have another wild card, Andrew Heaney, 238, 105 strikeouts. This man is playing very well. We acquired him before the season. I believe it might have been first game of the season. Not really sure when we acquired him, but he's before the season. Nonetheless, played your first game. He's playing very good for us. Very good acquisition. I loved what I got out of Andrew Heaney this season. But then we have Stephen Wright, 329. That's alright for an 84 overall pitcher in your 4th spot. That's pretty decent. Then we have Robbie Ray at 419. This man is playing very good before, and now he just kind of fallen off the bandwagon as well as John Gray. So these two guys, not the greatest. Regardless of the rest, though, we have Stephen Wright, 329. That's not that bad. So go take a look at our bullpen, and that's starting off as Prince Shipley there. 79 overall, 370 ERA. I don't know, we'll just go see what he has and later on in the season. Then we have Daniel Finn, same ERA, 370. Then we have Fernando Salas at 661. McGee at 287. He's playing very good ever since he started off bad. Then Ben Bowen at a 406. We have Estevez at a 794. Dole at a 556. And Doolittle at a 389. He's kind of fallen down from his... Well, actually, he's gone pretty good ever since earlier on. Because earlier on, he was terrible. Like, he was pure garbage. But now he's alright. But now, we gotta do something about the setup man position. We might go and bring up Jake McGee. He played that last season. Might as well bring him in as a setup man once again. And we have Estevez. We'll leave him in there for now. He's only got 22.2 innings pitched. So, we need a little bit more substance out of Estevez before we really base a good opinion on him. Because he's played a good majority of the season, but still, I don't know, we'll see how he plays the rest, because he's a decent pitcher when he plays well. Ben Bowden played great last season. He's playing decent. He's playing better than what we have in Estevez. We have out of Dole and Salas, so he's alright in my books. Then we have Ryan Dole. This man, I don't know, ever since we acquired him last season in the trade, also acquiring Sean Doolittle, he just hasn't really stepped up and played as well as I thought he would. Last season he played great though, like before we acquired him. Then after we acquired him, just played like flat out garbage. So we might go and flip Dole for a great pitcher who's playing good right now. Because at this point we have a shot at the World Series regardless of what we have in other teams like the Cardinals, the Dodgers, and so on. Because in baseball pretty much anything could happen. One team can get hot at the right time, climb the standings, play well in the playoffs, and even win a World Series. You never really know what happens in baseball regardless of what the record is. Because in basketball it's pretty much set. Golden State Warriors and Cavs at the end of the season in the finals. Whereas baseball, you have no clue who's going to make the World Series. Sometimes you might think, oh, maybe the Dodgers might win it this year, but the Dodgers always choke it. It's just kind of those things, though. You never really know who's going to win at baseball. That's the good thing about it. But right now, you just got to go and build up our pitching staff, because our pitching staff is alright for our starters. The majority of our starters are alright, but the rest, like bullpen and all, we got to do something with that if we want to go and win a World Series this season. Lineup card, I think our lineup card's pretty good. We have Kiki Escalona. We could upgrade him. Derek Norris could even upgrade him if we want, but at this point I think we're pretty good what we have in our hitting offense. So go take a look at the block right now and see what's on it for trade acquisitions. So right now you have Sandy Leon at catcher, we have Evasiel Garcia, Jose Ramirez, Jeremy Jeffress. You have Hunter Dozier there as a third baseman. And then a catcher, we have Kenneth Alexander there batting 286. Only 7 at-bats though, very low substance. You have no idea if this guy's going to be good for us right now. We had Trevor May too. Trevor May, not that bad. Dan Straley. We have Sean Manaea, 4.53 ERA. We have Liam Hendricks, former Blue Jay himself, 4.50. We have Josh Fagley, 71 overall catcher. Brett Nicholas, 81 overall catcher, batting 244, better than we have in Derek Norris, but we really don't need to acquire a catcher at this point. Then we have Mitch Moreland, 79 overall third baseman, batting 291 though, 12 home run, 40 RBI this season. We have Tony Kemp, 78, 27 years old. Who else is on here? We have Teoscar Hernandez, 74, a potential, batting 303. We have Freddie Freeman on here, Freddie Freeman. So it looks like the Braves are probably rebuilding. That's probably why they traded Dansby Swanson for a younger player in, what was his name again? Oh yeah, it's Ahmed Rosario, that's who it was. He's playing great for them though. But we'll go take a look once again, trade block right there. Go down to Freddie Freeman, see the rebuilding Braves, trading Freeman possibly this season to the Nationals, Diamondbacks or Twins. Then we have JT Realmuto. This is a guy who I'm kind of interested in. I mean, we could make a trade for him right now. We'll take a look at what Derek Norris's value is. It's probably pretty low, but we'll see what it is. So he's making 3.4 mil last year of his contract, I think. Is it? No, it's AJ Ramos. But catcher, Final year of his contract, 3.5 mil. I believe he might be in the free agency because you do have Wilson Ramos, 2 years left at 10.3 mil. Unless they trade Ramos, I don't see Real Muto staying in Miami because he's got no shot to start. So if that does happen though, we could always acquire him in the free agency because I'm not going to waste my money right now. We're fine with what we have in Derek Norris. We have hitting ability in front of him. We do not need hitting ability out of Derek Norris right now. But it would be nice to get some hitting ability out of him regardless, even though he's batting 9th. But I don't know, we don't need to make a trade though. We'll go and get him the free agency if we want to get him because there's no shot of him staying around if Ramos is there in Miami. So we'll take a look at the next few guys. And that is probably going to be some relief pitching because we need relief pitching desperately right now, especially the play of Ryan Dole. So who's on your regard of like good ERA? We do have Anthony DeScalafini. He's got 60 innings pitched, 2.37 ERA. We could convert him into a relief pitcher. That wouldn't be that hard to do. But what value does he have as a player? So he's got Kiki Escalona, Derek Norris straight up. We have David Gutierrez, David Ortiz, Ray Frederich. Okay. So there's a few options on there, but I don't see any really options that benefit us because I don't want to trade away prospects for Anthony DeScalafini because he's probably in his last year of his contract. Is he? Because usually guys, when they put them on the block, they're on the last year, and they are. Next man up on here, who's on here? We do have George Contos, one man I was looking at last time. So the Jays, they're getting their hands in every single relief pitcher on the block. We got to outbid him or out-trade him, I guess, in this instance. So we have George Contos for Andres Castillo, Kirk Kemp, Matt Coyne, Sean Burns, and a whole bunch of deep prospects and Patrick Garcia. Most of these guys are actually pretty dispensable, though. I actually like these trades. They're not too unrealistic. So we could maybe give up Kirk Kemp. We do have a lot of depth in the outfield. It wouldn't really matter if we got rid of him. We'll see what Kirk Kemp has at this point for his tools. So Kirk, he's all the way down there, right behind Stephen Barton, Jay Cairo, David Gutierrez, Alex Sturman, and then we have David Dahl at the top. So Kirk Kemp, let's see if we get rid of him for Benitez. That almost makes it go through. So Kirk has a little bit of potential. He's got great speed, great stealing, but other than that though, I guess he has decent power, but I don't really see him developing too well into a hitter we can use on the team. So Kirk Kemp, George Contos actually, 2.00 mil. Let's see if we work in maybe Ryan Dole into this deal. We could do that. Because Contos is playing fantastic this season. He's got the tools to play well next season as well. But then again, he is kind of like a wild card. That's right. His career history, 360 last season. The year before that was a 407. Then it was 253 in 2016, 233, 278. So I guess it could have been just a bad year for him in 2017. He's been with San Fran his entire career besides his first year with the Yankees. So it's not that bad actually for him. But George Contos. He would be good for us. So let's go ahead and bring Ryan Dole into this. That makes it go through pretty much. Right now I think it might be good just giving up what we have in Jay Cairo in left field because, I mean, for a low prospect like that, or not Jay Cairo, Kirk Kemp out of this deal because, I mean, let's be honest though, I don't see any of these dudes really working out. At least Jay Cairo has some hitting ability, but I don't see Kirk Kemp working out. Might as well trade him. So George Contos, Kirk Kemp, let's get the deal done, and we got done. So we finally have George Contos there in our bullpen. We'll go take a look at him in our Colorado Rockies uniform. So let's see him in the lineups, the rotation. So there's the man of the hour, George Contos there, 78 overall. We'll take a look at him in the roster so we can see him in his uniform right there. So George Contos, edit player, and there he is, number 70 in the pinstripes in Colorado. Gonna play well this season. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he helps us get to a World Series championship. But we'll go bring him in his position, see how he works out there in the lineup card, or not the lineup card, but the rotation. So George Contos, bring out Ryan Dole. We do not need him. It's pretty much obvious we're probably gonna trade Ryan Dole right now. So Dole, 79 overall. We could probably flip him for somebody good actually, because he's not that bad of a contract. Plus, I mean, he's got a decent, like, he's like 29 years old. He's alright too. So we'll go bring up our man Ryan Dole as an option right there. We'll go with prospects, I guess, for now. Actually, no, we should probably go MLB ready. That might be best. So we have a lot of trades here for Ryan Doliev, Wesley Ackerman, we got Jordy Mercer, any guys that are actually ready for the MLB. Dante Tipton, Rob Sanchez, any dudes on here, Alfonso Echeda, Abreu, Berg. We have AJ Scrugel, we have Brian Littlefield. There's some decent guys in here, but they're pretty much almost all trash though. There's a few gems, but it's pretty bad here. So you have like really nobody on here though. You have one catcher there, Greg Acosta, but he's got a C potential though. 23 years old, 62 overall. You have Mark Carrington. Like, I'm not really expecting a good haul for him. I mean, he is alright, but he's not the greatest pitcher in the world. So gotta keep that in mind. But let's go to the Royals. Anybody here? There's like nobody here at all. Crap. So since there's really no value for him straight up, we could go and possibly bring in him as like an asset in a bigger deal. That's always an option right there. You have Corey Cram. It's not that bad actually. Damn, there's really not that much for him straight up. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So we'll go and bring up a possible trade I've been looking at. I've been thinking about this in my mind for a while now. And that's for a dude who's kind of trapped in New York in this game. In real life, he's pretty good. After the All-Star break, he kind of sucks. But I think you have an idea who I'm talking about. And that man's name is obviously, what is he? There's a team right there. And that is the New York Yankees. So, right fielder, Aaron Judge. I mean, actually, he's not that bad in New York. 75 overall, 5.91 mil per year, 5 years left. This man is stuck in New York for 5 years at that term. A potential, not that bad though. Let's see what if we bring in Ryan Dole in this deal. That takes a little bit of a chunk of the change. Bring in that. So in order to make a trade for Aaron Judge, you have to bring up actually a lot. It's not that. It's actually pretty bad. Ryan, maybe they don't want Ryan Dole actually. That might be their trade. So trade for Aaron Judge would probably work out for us, but like one thing we gotta consider right now is possibly right now if for the cap situation, we do have kind of like a sticky situation at this point for us right now in Colorado. So right now with the Aaron Judge deal, we do have to go take a look at what our cap situation is right now, and in the future. So in the next offseason though, we do have one possible leaving member, and that's Nolan Arenado. So right now he's making 7.36 mil. The man I think wants around 30 million. Yeah, he wants to actually not 30 million, but 23.7 million for his duties. So we need to go re-sign him because Arenado, he's great. He's one of the best Rockies right now in franchise history, I'd say so myself. So we got to keep him around. In order to do that though, we have to get rid of somebody who does have some contract, like some money basically, because we probably won't have enough to go and sign him if we have some of these dudes on the team. And right now we gotta re-sign some guys like David Dahl. We gotta re-sign, who else on here? Obviously we re-sign Trevor Story. So we're kind of stuck in a sticky situation here with some of our players. And right now, one man who could be leaving this offseason could be Andrew McCutchen. So McCutchen we signed in, I think maybe the first free agency. He's played well for us this season and last season. But I think we might have to go and trade him possibly next season or in the offseason if anything happens. Because we need to go and sign Arenado, priority number one. And if we do, actually that does happen, then the right field spot opens up for, guess who? Aaron Judge. So we could go and acquire Aaron Judge right now just to make sure we do have him on the team. Or we just wait until, obviously, the offseason and see if he's still available. But right now, I'm not sure if that could be the case because, I mean, New York could double down on him and want to keep him around in the offseason. Plus, he can probably grow too, as well to like an 80 overall and make it pretty much unobtainable with his high value. Because some of these players with an 8 potential, 80 overall, they're pretty much impossible to go and acquire. And Aaron Judge is at a position right now where you could probably acquire him if we give the right prospects. Let's go to right field, find Aaron Judge, and bring up some players. So Ryan Dole, obviously one of the players we need to trade right now. And who else could we trade though? We do need to trade starting pitching because the Yankees, I think they need starting pitching. Do they? Yeah, they kind of need starting pitching right now. They got older players, Jeremy Ellickson, Andrew Kashner. They have Severino, Pineda, and Tanaka. But other than that, though, they need a solid 4-man in the rotation. Anybody on here for us with that? Release a prospect that could develop into that. We have Matt Cohen. He's kind of low value, though. Jack Ridley, he takes a chunk out of that as well. Ridley, we probably won't use him because he's not going to develop in time for us right now. But Who else on here? We have Sean Burns. Would Sean Burns help it out? No. Drew Flood. Like, is there anybody on here? No trades available with those guys, so we'll leave that out there. But in order to acquire Aaron Judge, you have Kutch and Spears. This is way too much value for us. Way too much. So we'll go and take out Dole, see what's available with prospects. You can't do with prospects. One trade right here is Pat Valaika, Estevez, and Tony Walters. But I don't want to give it Tony Walters because he's our backup catcher. And Pat Valaika is pretty good at shortstop. He's a good backup for us. So we'll leave that right there. We don't want to make that trade. Anybody on here though, we need to give it Ryan Dole though. Robbie Ray, Jonas Spears, Kutch, and Jonas Spears. Damn it. We could give up like a Ray Friedrich or like Jason Erasmus. Randall Smith would make it go through, but he's injured right now. I can't make that deal. Plus, he's pretty good too. But Jason Erasmus, no trades available still. Jordan Patterson, he'd make that work. Be that in Tony Walters. Yeah. Let's go and see if... Go back to relief, because Mike Dunn's not that bad. We'll bring up what we have in Ryan Dole. Anything here? Because they want to win this trade, obviously, like everyone else wants to. But we want to try and win this trade out of them, because in the long run, Patterson for Judge would work out great for us. Regardless of money, too, because money... I guess he is making 5.9 mil, but we'll get that out of value eventually when he develops into like an 85 overall solid right fielder for the team. Anyone else in here? Is there any catchers on here we could probably trade? Like Oscar Hernandez, Don Nunez, Estrella, Tom Casey, Juan Morales, Lexi Portillo would work almost. Frick, it's so hard to go and make the trade with you on them. It's hard to trade the Yankees though, they want value, it sucks. Guess they have a brain though, that's always good for them. Adam Wilburn would work. I don't see him developing. He's 20 years old, big potential, switch hitter, 5'10". Would you have guys like David Ortiz, Ryan McMahon, Luis Reyna? It's pretty much hard for them. Even with Arenado there, there's no shot of them starting in the next 10 years or even 6 years. And we're not going to go that long with this franchise mode. So, let's see. Patterson, Dole, and Wilburn would work for us. We'd be giving up around 3 million, 3.8 mil, or not 3.8 mil, 3.08 mil for 5.9. So we're pretty much giving up, like we're adding 2.9 million on there, but in the long run it seems good for us if we get rid of Kutch. It'd work out great for us with Aaron Judge as the replacement. So Patterson, Dole, Wilburn, all guys could probably go because Patterson doesn't even play on the team. You have Kiki Escalona at DH. Dole has been sucking all season long. He's on his second year, or on his first year of his 2-year deal. And Wilburn, no shot to start at third base in the next few years once we re-sign Arenado long term. So Judge, for those dudes, will go through, and this trade does work. So we got the boy himself, Aaron Judge, 77 overall. We'll develop him into a great player in this Rockies franchise mode. So I just saw him on there. He's a great name. I love his game. He's been playing great all season long, besides after All-Star break because he kind of sucks. But still, great player though. I love him. So we'll go and bring him up into the lineup as a DH. Kiki can go back to AAA, work on his game a bit, and see if he can come back strong for next season, possibly as a DH. So who's on here though? Yeah, Kutch. It kind of sucks. I want to give Aaron Judge some more playing time. That's the thing. But we just can't do that though. I'll go... Yeah, it's Aaron Judge in those. Okay. So we do have now a reliable hitter there in Aaron Judge and get it done in that position. So it's good to see that. Now I can bring up Kiki Escalona as a a pinch hitter. He plays well as pinch hitter though. We did hit a home run with him in one of the last gameplay videos, and that home run stood up to almost be the game winner, I believe. So Escalona very valuable there as a pinch hitter. I love him there, so we'll just go and leave him on the bench. Pompey, great base running player. Like a great infield replacement. Tony Walters, great catcher replacement. So you could probably leave right there for players right now. Pompey, yeah, I think we should be good right there. But oh yeah, I guess we do have Valaika there as the backup. Frick. Who's better though? Personally, I'd say Pompey's better at running the bases because that's what we need from a pinch runner. So Valaika could go down to the AAA. Actually develop for once and maybe come back stronger for next season. That's the good thing. So bring up rosters, go and find the second man of the hour himself, Aaron Judge, brand new Rocky. Let's go see him in the new pinstripes. Let's go Aaron Judge. So went from one pinstripes in New York to another in Colorado. I like these pinstripes better. His name is Aaron Judge, 99, and he is in Colorado. So all stand for the Honorable Aaron Judge. Nice to see him there in Colorado. So pretty much, this is pretty much a big name kind of guy. Like, the only reason why I acquired him was he's got great power. He could be replacing Kutch next season. He probably will be. And he's got a good name, though. Like, he's got a big name that attracts people to the stands. And that's going to work out for us. So, our lineup looks pretty good there with Aaron Judge, Story, Kutch, Blackman, Arenado, Dahl, LeMahieu, and Norris. I like that. But our rotation, though, for the bullpen, we got rid of Dahl. He was dull this season. He sucked. Brought in Contos. I think he'll do well for us. We have Ben Bowden. Styles is always consistent with us, playing well in the last end of the season, so we'll leave him right there. Bowden is young. He's going to develop really well for us in the next 2 seasons. Bring him in there for experience. Finn, he's pretty decent. Shipley's alright. He's the first year on the team. He's got to play a little bit better there. But nonetheless, our bullpen's not that bad, though. Estevez will come down from sucking and actually play well eventually. McGee, he's playing solid. Doolittle, he's solid when he's on his game, and right now he's playing pretty well. So we'll leave him as it is right there. Starting pitching, Robbie Ray will work out his kinks, play well eventually. Stephen Ray playing great for what his value is. He's playing fantastic for his value. Heaney playing great. John Gray will come down from his slump. And Tyler Anderson, or Ace, gonna always play great, so we don't really have to worry about him too much right there. So at this point, I think our trade deadline is done. We acquired big name Aaron Judge and a reliable player there in Contos, the righty Contos, right there. So I think we're good for now for acquisitions. We won 9-1 against Miami. We spanked them last time. We'll go and sim up to around. We have the St. Louis Cardinals, Arizona. I want to play New York, but I don't think we play New York, though, for the rest of the season. Do we at all? Just September call-ups, but nah, we don't. So it's kind of sexy, though, we don't. But nonetheless, we'll go and sim up to Milwaukee, Washington, Atlanta. I want to play Atlanta, kind of. We could maybe do that. They are kind of rebuilding. We'll see if Freddie Freeman is around. We'll go and sim probably just a few days to see what the trade deadline worked out for the rest of the teams in the MLB. Let's go sim this. Lyles no longer injured on the bench, so we'll put him right there. Randall Smith no longer injured. And the Nationals offering us a trade. Let's see this. So Anderson or Ace for Anthony Rendon, third baseman. Let's see him on there. He is 85 overall. It's not that bad, actually. And Joe Ross. See Joe Ross. He's probably all the way down there. He is. So actually not that bad of a trade from Washington, though. Like, usually you get insulted by trades. This one is kind of tempting, but we do not need Anthony Rendon. We have Arenado. We do not need Joe Ross because we have Tyler Anderson. So we'll get rid of that trade. No Mystery Bob from the Nationals. But great offer, though. I'm actually liking those good offers. Let's go sim past the first. And the deadline is here. We'll go and not sim. Because you don't need to do that at all. Okay, roster, you gotta do that. Forgot about that. Oh yeah, we gotta bring down Valaika. We'll do that. Actually, I don't know why I said Pompey for the infield. He plays center field, but yeah, Valaika, he'll have to stay for sure if that's the case. So Pompey, you gotta bring him down, even though I really don't want to because he's got speed, but this has to be the way it is. But even Valaika, though, 74 overall for his speed. Didn't even look at that. So he's actually not that bad, though. We actually got some speedy players. So I don't know why I was saying that, though. Pompey, easy decision to bring him down because we do not need him on the teams. Let's go to our center field, bring down Pompey, work on his game a bit in the AAA. Right there. There you go. So we have Pompey in the AAA, Escalona and Valaika commanding that bench, and along with Armand Walters. Then we have Aaron Judge there at the DH spot. So it's working out pretty good for us in Colorado. We made some more trades to help us in the long term and right now. I'm kind of liking our trades though today. It actually worked out pretty well for us. Let's go sim around the first, see what's going on right there. And let's see this. Important messages, probably just the trade deadline. We'll sim that. There we go. So we lost the game there against where we were playing, but we'll go and take a look at our transactions though. So what happened in MLB for the deadline? let's see this. So trades, we have the Aaron Judge trade, obviously. We have the Contos trade. We do have the Jays acquiring, looks like Ken Griffey. I don't know how to say that well, but we have the Jays acquiring Douglas McGill. Well, actually, why the Jays actually making positional player trades, though? I thought they really needed a reliever. I guess they really don't need one, but we do have Orioles acquiring Mark Reynolds for Conrad Blake. Could convert him into a reliever from the Jays. So the Jays making moves there in the deadline. I like to see that. Because as a Jays fan right now, it's just annoying whenever like your team needs trading. Like, players need to be traded, obviously, to get your team better. And they just do not make the trade, so it kind of sucks when that happens. So I'm looking to see the Jays trade in this game like they should in real life sometimes, because they gotta get rid of some players that are getting old and do not need to be on the team. But anything on here, though, as like noteworthy, I really don't think there's really anything. It's pretty much just prospects and like really older players. But the Angels, that's why Rowdy Tullis was on the Angels. So the Jays traded Willie Wagner. That's why Rowdy Tullis was on the Angels. I mean, so the Jays, they traded Rowdy for Willie Wagner. Because actually, like, Tullis was actually had some pretty good development there this season. I don't know why they traded him, because he's a great first baseman on this team, but I don't know, we'll see. So go take a look at that, though. I want to see that. Let's go to roster and see what was there. So Wagner, where is he on here? He is a 77, 20 years old, though. So they're making some smart moves, actually. Wagner's not that bad. They do need some outfield talent with Batista being gone. And yeah, he's got 90 speed, 91 stealing. Great pickup, though. 80 contact, 76 contact against lefties. I mean, he's a stud, though. He's great, though. 90 durability. Won't get injured often at all. So, I mean, pretty good pickup there by the Jays, though. I love it. And yeah, sometimes we gotta go pick up some faster players in this team. Even though we're a fast team, we always gotta get faster, and I think we could do that in the offseason, possibly this season, or next offseason, I mean. And I think we could do this next offseason if the right players are available. So Aaron Judge, looking great in the new pinstripes in Colorado, but we'll go and see him up to probably this Atlanta game. I want us to play them, because we haven't played them this season, I don't think. So we have Cincinnati, Detroit, Cincinnati again. Okay. So Raimel Tapia is injured right now, 1 to 2 weeks. We'll probably just bring him on the 10-day DL. But right now our team is kind of struggling with winning, though. Kind of sucks. Hopefully we win some of these series this year. But George Conto's out for a couple days. Keep him active. He's back. Let's see his win streak, though. 11-2, though. That sucks there. But Pompey, he's out 1 to 2 months, though. It's a good thing we didn't have any... good thing we have actually some backups at center field. But we'll go put him on probably the 10-day, actually well 60-day, because you really don't need him. Auto-utilize, and we're at the Atlanta game. So in that stretch we went, what is that, 1 win, 2 win, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 and 9, so not that great, but not that bad. So we're 68 and 53, 500 in that stretch, not that bad, I guess. But we'll take a look at the West. We'll take a look at the NL West standings. So right now we're 3rd in the NL West. The Dodgers picking up steam. They're 70 wins in the season. We're 2 games back, or 1.5 games back of them. But the Giants, though, still holding strong at 7.5 games ahead of our Rockies. Wildcard, you get overtaken by the Cubs. They're 70 wins apiece from the Dodgers and the Cubs. Not good for us. We're out of playoff spot right now. We need to go and win some games. So right now we're 7th in the MLB. The Cubs 2nd overall. And the Dodgers 1st overall. So I don't know how they're not 1st in their divisions, because the Dodgers are great. I don't know why the Giants are so good this season, but the NL West is very competitive this season, though. I love it. I mean, I love always having competition in this game, and that really helps out when you have 2 great teams in your division. So we got to step up big here in the last stretch of the season. We got to do something here to go and win this. Oh, it should just make the playoffs in general, but let's see some standings, though, or not some standings, for some stats for the team. So DJ LeMahieu, 8th overall either in the NL. He's playing great for us this season at leadoff position, but anybody else on here, though, for the Rockies? You have Kutchin 19th, though. That's actually pretty good. Hopefully he keeps it up and plays well for the rest of the season, but because trade value. But David Dahl 34th. This team's alright though. I'm loving it. So now take a look at our team and see what player we should actually play as in the next game. Because we have Heaney on deck against Julio Teheran. We have Aaron Blair against John Gray. We have Stephen Wright against Mike Fulty-Nucas. I mean, Stephen Wright, I want to play as him, but he is so hard to play as though. I guess pitching mechanics is so different in this game that it's so tough to go and play as him, because he's got that knuckleball. It's got a different release in this game for timing wise, so it's kind of difficult to play with though. And I don't want to mess up too bad. So we have John Gray, Heaney, Wright, or Robbie Ray. I mean, we could play as Robbie Ray. I haven't played as him in a long time, but I mean, Andrew Heaney, he's playing great this season. Let's go play as him. So opening game, we somehow lose against the Atlanta Braves. How do we do that? We need to, like, this is one of the teams you have to actually win against. Oh god, our team is gonna be a mess. Erasmus 10 ADL, but man, that sucks. We're 68 and 54. We're a great team, but we're stuck in a great division, though. That's just unfortunate. But unfortunate circumstances. We have to rise against them, and we got a big weeks ahead of us in this game, though, because we're 8.5 games back of the Giants. We're only 2.5 games back of the Dodgers for second spot, but we have the wild card to go and worry about, though, and we're 2 games back of the wild card, so we're still in the hunt, but pretty much it's between the Rockies, Nationals, and Cardinals, possibly if the Cardinals get hot, and the Pirates, Cubs, and Dodgers. So these teams, oh man, it sucks to go and see this happen, but we gotta win major games in the next month if we want to go and make the playoffs. So even though they say September is usually a month where you can take it easy, we gotta win game after game after game if we want to make this playoffs and possibly win a World Series this season with this great team. Because right now, this is the season to go do it, and like our bullpen's great, or not, our bullpen's decent, but our starting lineup is great, our hitting is fantastic this season, I'm loving that. Gotta put in some work in September, hopefully make the playoffs this season to give it a shot at the World Series. So, next game, we have Heaney against Julio Teheran, their best pitcher on their team. Whereas Heaney's playing pretty well this season, 274 ERA, 10-7 record, 121 strikeouts, 151, 1 innings pitched. He's playing great. Julio Teheran, he's got 144 strikeouts, 403 ERA. He's kind of bad, but I think we probably go and damage him even more in this game. So I guess I'll end this episode off for here. Make sure to subscribe for more Rockies French about, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.